There are two consents in the package. This is going to be the consent with the letterhead on it. You'll notice on the top it'll say consent. It will say regarding blank and date of birth blank. So who they're looking for in terms of name, it's the client name. It's the individual receiving passport funding. What the consent outlines is that Passport One and passport funding is now held through a centralized system that is held at Family Services Toronto. This consent outlines that York Support Services no longer holds the funding here, but that we do act as the liaison between families and clients and Passport One in Toronto. As of October, invoices began being directed to Family Services Toronto at Passport One. Going forward, York Support Services will be a part of that process, and all invoices will be sorted and headed to Passport One in Toronto. So you would be signing for the client. At the top, again, it would be the client's name, so the individual receiving passport funding and their date of birth. So just take a moment and write those in up at the top. Once you've written their date of birth and their name, you're going to flip the page. Once you flip the page towards the bottom, you will see I blank. This is not the person managing funds form's name or signature. This is the printed name of the client. So the person who is receiving the funds. They would write in I, Jane Doe, I, John Doe. Below that, you'll write in today's date, and the signature would be your own, and if you are not signing as the client, on the line below, it asks for name of consenter, so you would write your name and the relationship to the client, whether that be a sibling or a parent or, again, a legal guardian. Afterwards, the YSSN staff will come around as signature and date as well. The next one we're going to be looking at is another consent. It's the Personal Health Information Consent regarding York Support Services and Family Services Toronto, where Passport One is held. So if you take a look on the front page, you'll notice that it asks for the full name of the client as well as their birthday. So if you just want to take a moment and write in their name and date of birth. So you can see that we've already pre-populated a bit of the page, indicating that York Support Services is going to collect with Family Services Toronto, where Passport One is held, specifically as it pertains to passport funding. So we will only be speaking to Passport One regarding passport. We would not take a look at any sort of case management history, perhaps if there were funding outside of passport. Again, we're only speaking to Family Services Toronto as it pertains to funding. So once you've written the name of the client and their date of birth on the front page, I'm going to ask that you flip the page. Once you flip the page, there are several yes or no boxes in regards to privacy. I ask that you take a moment and look through those and whether you feel that they're a yes or a no. After these have been checked off, you'll notice that there's a section asking if this form has been signed by the client. If the client is here, the client is able to sign if they understand and are able to. If not, the person representing them will not sign where it says the signature of the client. But if you look a little further, there is a box indicating that this form is signed by the authorized representative of the individual. Again, whether that's a parent, a sibling, or legal guardian. They would print their name, indicate the relationship to the client, and then their signature. So again, you may be filling out the top box if the client is present and is able to sign for themselves, or the representative would be signing below if the client is not able to or is not present. Once the signature is in, you'll just date it with today's date at the bottom. And that can go neatly into your little pile along with your passport service agreement and the other consent.